5 a.m. I'm up with a crisp Celsius energy drink. Running 12 miles today. Grab a green juice, quick change, and head to work. Meetings, workshops. One more Celsius, no slowing down. Working late, but obviously still meeting the girls for a little dancing. Celsius. Live, fit, go. Grab a cold, refreshing Celsius at your local retailer or locate now at Celsius.com.
Health starts with what's on your plate because a healthy meal is more than food, it's a foundation. Nutritious meals help kids thrive in school, parents at work, and seniors in their communities. Help us put food at the center of better health for everyone. Give now at feedingamerica.org/health.
When you think of disco, a lot of names come to mind. Donna Summer, Gloria Gaynor, Bee Gees, Chic. The name Yvonne Elliman, however, might not be one you've ever heard, but you've certainly heard her biggest hit. If I Can't Have You hit number 1 on the Hot 100 in May of 1978, and it was part of a parade of hits from the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack. Though the song was originally intended to be another Bee Gees single, they wisely made the decision to let Yvonne Elliman's passionate vocal performance be the definitive version of the song, making it a tune that still resonates with people today. But when it comes to the rest of Yvonne's catalog, were we strong enough to see it through? Stay tuned to find out.
I don't want nobody, baby, if I can't have you. One hit is all you need to make the money guaranteed, and you can live off royalties forever. And it makes me wonder, is it just a wonder, or is it one hit thunder?
Are you a fan of the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack?
I really, really, really like the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack.
Okay. All right.
It's got the songs that you know, right? It's filled with these Bee Gees songs. It's filled with the song we're talking about today. There's also just these really cool disco instrumentals. You get like the Fifth of Beethoven disco song is on there. There's also a disco version of Night at Bald Mountain, which is like a pretty famous classical piece. And I don't know, there's something that I really, really like of the 70s. I probably would have thought it was lame when I was at my peak of like being a punk kid. But like as I started to just like all variety of music, taking pieces of instrumental like classical scores and turning them into disco songs, I've always really liked. Like eventually we're going to have to do Star Wars Disco, which was this one-off hit by Miko, but it's exactly what it sounds like. He literally it's a 17-minute long track that was a like top 20 hit where he took all of the famous pieces of Star Wars music and did it as a disco song. And it works. Like there's something that really works with that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. This song we're talking about today, Yvonne Elliman's If I Can't Have You, actually was supposed to be a Bee Gees song, and it did. Like a month after this was released, the Bee Gees did release a version of it. But I think it's interesting and probably pretty smart that the Bee Gees themselves realized that they were dominating the charts and dominating everything, and that people would get sick of them, which they did eventually get sick of them.
Yeah.
But they were self-aware enough to know, like, hey, we better let someone else sing one of these songs, and that's how we got Yvonne Elliman on this song. And beyond the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack, I feel like this song is just out there in the world. Like, I feel like everyone listening to this episode, if you're in the States anyway, you would know this song, but I can't really figure out why.
The only thing that I saw was Big Daddy, but like, I'm sure I would argue that just behind the song Staying Alive, this is the other song from the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack that gets utilized the most. And I mean, that's a pretty stacked soundtrack. So I could look at the playlist and be proven wrong. Like Disco Inferno is also on there, and that's a pretty frequent song still all these years later, that burn, baby, burn, Disco Inferno. But I feel like I knew this song I knew this song and Staying Alive well before I knew what Saturday Night Fever was or knew anything about that soundtrack because it was so predominantly in popular culture.
Yeah, I swear, and I couldn't find anything about this, that this song had to be used in fast food commercials or like Applebee's or Chili's or something. It's because it makes sense to like have some sort of burger or something and play this song. If I can't have you, I don't want nobody, baby, in relation to food. I could have sworn that it has been used countless times over the years, but I couldn't find anything about that. I don't know why I have this sense that this song is just in the culture maybe more than it actually is.
I'm actually shocked because I just checked. I thought this has to be in Boogie Nights, right? And it's not.
Right.
Like, this is another one that feels like would be playing at any pool scene in the movie Boogie Nights.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, but we'll start from the beginning with Yvonne Elliman here because she was actually part of the first cast of the musical Jesus Christ Superstar, which I've never seen, but I would assume that you've probably seen, being that A, it's about Jesus Christ, and B, it's a musical. I feel like those are two things that you know about.
I've actually never seen it. The only song I know from it is Day by Day, and only because of Wet Hot American Summer, where they sing Day by Day in Wet Hot American Summer from it. I didn't even realize that, like, I think I knew that Andrew Lloyd Webber was part of it. I didn't realize that Tim Rice was also part of it.
Tell me about Tim Rice. Because I know the name Tim Rice, but you're going to tell me stuff and I'm going to be like, oh, yeah.
So the big thing with Tim Rice is, in the late 80s, there was Howard Ashman, who Disney pulled from obscurity. He had done Little Shop of Horrors, but that was like his first big thing. And they were like, you and your writing partner are going to write all the songs for Little Mermaid.
Okay.
And he wrote all the Little Mermaid. And then he wanted to do Beauty and the Beast next.
Okay.
Or no, he wanted to do Aladdin. He had this idea for a musical about Aladdin. And they said, we're going to do Beauty and Beast first. So he also wrote all the songs for Beauty and the Beast. And then while writing Aladdin, he got AIDS and passed away.
Oh, okay.
Tim Rice was brought in to finish the songs that he wasn't able to finish for Aladdin. And then he became Disney's go-to songwriter for like Lion King and beyond. So he wrote all of the Elton John songs from The Lion King. He wrote Can You Feel the Love Tonight and Circle of Life and all that stuff.
Gotcha.
And he's basically been like, I don't know if he still is, but for a good like 10 to 15 years, he was like the Disney musical songwriter. He kind of, I didn't know that he dated as far back as the 70s with Jesus Christ Superstar. I genuinely thought because Howard Ashman was like a new up-and-comer that they replaced him with another new up-and-comer, but
gotcha.
That was kind of shocking for me to see. I didn't realize, listening to this song, I would have never guessed that this was being sung by someone who grew up in Hawaii and was of Asian descent. Like, none of that, like, in the sound of it, it sounds, I would have honestly thought that this was maybe an African-American woman singing just by how soulful it is.
Sure. I didn't have any predetermined judgments on what Yvonne Elliman looked like. I kind of just based on that name, just thought it was, I don't know. The name Yvonne makes me think, and I know why. You know why I picture a certain person when I hear the name Yvonne?
Because it's a former wife of a certain person.
No, I don't know.
Oh, no, I'm thinking of Ivanka. Never mind.
No. Yvonne, I think of Miss Yvonne from Pee-wee's Playhouse. So
yes.
When I see the name Yvonne, I just think of like a white lady with like a big beehive hairdo. I think that's what she had. But Yvonne Elliman, she was born and raised in Honolulu. She showed interest in music at a very early age. She was playing ukulele by age 4, took piano lessons at age 7. She played the stand-up bass and the violin in the school band. She became a good guitarist, and she played in a folk music band called We Folk, which she formed with her classmates, which I'm like, wait a second. Is I mean, I'd imagine this is the 60s and she's like a young kid. Is this really supposed to be we folk? Like, is it supposed to be we fuck for real?
I was thinking of it like folk, like I almost thought it would be like it should have been spelled with 2 E's because they're kids, like tiny tykes, like,
No.
we're small folk.
No, it's one, and I thought it was supposed to sound like we fuck. I don't know if like in the folk world, I know in the funk world you used funk in place of
all
fuck
the time.
nonstop, but in the folk world you could do it just as much, like we don't folk around and stuff. Like, do people do that in the folk world?
I'm sure people do. I
Yeah.
don't know if it's as common in funk. It's probably like more. I'm sure because I think folk is so like the 90% of folk music I would say is very very self-serious about itself.
You don't think?
But
you don't
there
think,
are some comedy folk bands. I'm sure there's a couple comedy folk groups that I'm actually I want to see if it's in. I'm sure in a Mighty Wind.
Mighty Wind,
There's
yeah.
some type of folk replacing the word fuck joke in there.
If it hasn't been done yet, Bob Dylan, if you're listening, Bob Dylan, I don't folk around. Album title, T-shirt, you can use it. You don't have to pay me. Okay, but anyway, Yvonne Elliman eventually ends up in London in 1969 where she's performing in bars and clubs. She said she hated doing that. She did it for the money and the drugs. At that point, I mean, it's 1969. She thought that Grace Slick and Jefferson Airplane were the shit. But then she's performing and she's discovered by Tim Rice and Andrew Lloyd Webber. Now, it's funny. I watched an interview with her. This like 5-minute thing on YouTube. You can find it. It's a really nicely made thing, but it's made by a Dutch television company. But she talked about, I don't know, Matt, maybe you'll know. She said that a guy with crazy hair, I don't know if it'd be Tim Rice or Andrew Lloyd Webber here, but ran up to her and said, "You're my Mary Magdalene." And then he asked her to sing Mary Magdalene's part for the original audio recording of Jesus Christ Superstar. Do one of these guys famously have crazy hair?
I would imagine Andrew Lloyd Webber probably. Okay. I'm also looking just out of curiosity. I mean, this is early. This is the second thing that Tim Rice and Andrew Lloyd Webber ever did.
Okay.
So, I mean, the first one was Joseph and his magical dream code or whatever.
Technicolor.
That Technicolor dream code. So there's still, it's not, this is kind of like a dice roll for everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they're not the biggest names in musicals just yet, and she's a nobody. So it's kind of those, it's like being in the Groundlings. You know what I mean? Like that scrappy beginning where all of a sudden two of these people become like the biggest names in Broadway for decades to come, and she goes off on a pretty successful music career. Even if we have her on this podcast, we should note this is one of those weird one-hit wonders where I think most people will say, yes, this is a one-hit wonder, but she did have like 3 top 20 hits in her career.
Yeah, true. That original soundtrack of Jesus Christ Superstar featured Ian Gillan from Deep Purple as Jesus on it. And after the release of the album, they invited Yvonne to join the stage show's traveling cast, which she did for 4 years. And during that 4 years, she did have her first Hot 100 hit single in 1971 with I Don't Know How to Love Him from the soundtrack. Now, her original version was not issued as a single until a cover version by an artist named Helen Reddy started to move up the charts. And then both the original and the cover appeared concurrently on the charts. But what's funny is Yvonne's version peaked at number 28, while the cover peaked at number 13. I didn't know this song, and I don't know if you listened to it, Matt, but I don't know what's good about this song out of context of the musical, I guess. Did you know this song?
I did not, and I agree with you. I feel like it's weird to me when a musical number is able to do what it does on the charts. we're experiencing a little bit of that now with like Wicked. Wicked had a couple chart songs, and like, Defying Gravity is like a good song no matter what, but still all those songs kind of require context of the musical to work.
Maybe a lot of people were seeing at that point. I know that in the stack of records from my parents or whatever, there was a Jesus Christ Superstar record in there. So it definitely had reach at that time. I will say that I listened to both. I do think the cover is a little bit better.
Okay.
I don't know. Make your own judgment on that. But by 1971, keep in mind, Yvonne's only 19 years old at this point. She moved from London to New York City for the Broadway production of Jesus Christ Superstar, where she met her first husband, who was the president of RSO Records. And then she releases her first album, Food of Love, in 1973. I actually don't know if that's her first album, but it was her, maybe her first
I saw that it was
album.
her second one.
Or second.
Food of
Okay.
Love is her second album, yeah.
I thought it was interesting that she sang backing vocals on Eric Clapton's version of I Shot the Sheriff in 1974, and then she toured as part of his band, and then she performed on all of his albums from 1974 until 1977. Her next album had no hit singles, but her song Love Me, which was produced by Freddie Perrin. Now, Freddie Perrin co-wrote and co-produced, if you want to talk about disco hits, I Will Survive and Shake Your Groove Thing. Now, her album Love Me had 2 top 20 hits. The song Love Me, which was written, of course, by Barry and Robin Gibb. I didn't know this song. It was probably one of the songs of hers that I liked the most. I listened to her Essentials playlist on Apple Music. It was like,
that's the right call.
Yeah. And then she also had a cover of the Barbara Lewis song Hello Stranger. I knew this song, and I don't know if I knew her version of it or the original, but I knew it somehow. Hello Stranger topped the US Easy Listening chart for 4 weeks, and it went to number 15 in 1977. Love Me went to number 14. I don't think these songs, I do kind of like the Love Me song. I don't think these songs are very good. I'll be honest.
No.
Like, I wanted to like them. Easy listening seems like the right thing to call them. They really feel like elevator music.
Well, so this all leads to the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack in a weird way, because what we're establishing here is that she was a easy listening pop ballad musician. She was originally brought in to sing How Deep Is Your Love for the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack, which would have made sense with everything that she had done up until this point. That would have been the right call. And it was kind of at the last second that when they were recording the soundtrack that someone said, hey, it was actually the Bee Gees manager said, Bee Gees, you're going to do How Deep Is Your Love. She's going to do If I Can't Have You. And I think what a good call, because that Bee Gees How Deep Is Your Love song is fantastic. And part of it is because of the vocal harmonies of the three of them doing that, which I think would have been lost if it was a solo singer doing it as a ballad.
That's
and
a good point.
she like just belts the hell out of this If I Can't Have You.
Yeah. I will say that let's talk about If I Can't Have You for a second here.
Yeah.
The actual song. Something, I listened to it so many times before we recorded this. The first time the chorus comes around, did you notice how weird it is how they get into it? Where it is such a weird timing thing, or it's so awkward. But then once it's rolling, once that chorus gets rolling, I love it. That's an undeniable chorus. Who can't relate to that? It just feels really good. It's definitely the best thing of that chorus is the best thing of Yvonne Elliman's entire discography, I think.
100%. I think that chorus is a big reason why people, I don't think we're going to get a lot of people messaging us being like, how dare you call her a one-hit wonder? Don't you remember Love Me? because
right.
this is such a dramatically bigger and more power. Like, this is a timeless performance, and everything else was very much of its time and probably vanished from most people's memories a year after the songs came out.
Right. This song, If I Can't Have You, went to number 1. We're talking about a number 1 song today. Obviously, it's considered the high point of her recording career. It was, as we said, written by the Bee Gees, Albie Galutin, who co-wrote with the Bee Gees a lot, and Carl Richardson. Of course, it was on the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack. Like I said, the Bee Gees also did a version a month later as the B-side to Stayin' Alive. And dude, when I looked at the charts, now this went to number 1 for 1 week on May 13th, 1978. But listen to this. Right before this, for 8 weeks straight, Night Fever was the number 1 song. Before that, for 2 weeks, Love is Thicker Than Water from Andy Gibb. Before that, for 4 weeks straight, Stayin' Alive. Here's a past One Hit Thunder episode we did. For 3 weeks before that, Baby Come Back from Player. So that broke up the Bee Gees thing. But 2 weeks before that was How Deep Is Your Love. So the only thing breaking up nonstop Saturday Night Fever related songs was Player's Baby Come Back for 3 weeks. But yeah, so this song got its moment to shine for 1 week. Some other songs that were popular right around that same time: You're the One That I Want from John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John.
Yep.
Dust in the Wind from Kansas. Baby Hold On from Eddie Money. Here's a good one. I know you like this one. Moving Out, Anthony's song from Billy Joel.
Hell yeah.
Here's another good one. Here's another good one. Werewolves of London from Warren Zevon. And Take a Chance on Me from ABBA. We're all other
those
popular
are all
songs.
really good songs. Those are some top tier songs.
Yeah. Hey there, One Hit Thunder listeners. Are you ready to take your music to the next level? Well, get ready to rock, because this episode is brought to you by DistroKid, the ultimate digital music distribution service for artists like you. With DistroKid, you can easily upload your songs or albums to online stores and streaming platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube Music, reaching fans all around the globe. But that's just the beginning. DistroKid offers a ton of awesome features like Hyperfollow, which helps you promote your releases and get pre-saves on your songs, all for free. But wait, there's more. The DistroKid app is now available on iOS and Android. With the app, you can manage your releases, track your streaming stats, and even withdraw your earnings, all from the palm of your hand. And for those looking to perfect their sound, check out Mixia. This powerful tool allows you to put the finishing touches on your tracks in minutes, ensuring they sound polished and professional every time. But that's not all. DistroKid has just launched a brand new feature called Instant Share, allowing you to easily share large files securely with collaborators, producers, and more. With Instant Share, you can keep your music streaming at the highest quality while making the best impression possible. So what are you waiting for? Elevate your music career today with DistroKid and unlock a world of possibilities. Possibilities that I know all about because I've been using DistroKid for years. It's seriously great. If you haven't used it before, you're going to love it. And One Hit Thunder listeners get an exclusive offer, 30% off your first year with DistroKid by signing up at distrokid.com/VIP/OneHitThunder. That's distrokid.com/VIP/OneHitThunder.
Hey, One Hit Thunders, Thunderheads, Thunder Buns. All right, I'll just go with One Hit Thunder listeners. This is Krista Makes, guitarist and vocalist for Less Than Jake, and host of Krista Makes a Podcast, a songwriting podcast where every week I'm joined by an amazing guest to break down the writing, recording, and release of one iconic song that they have written. In our giant evergreen back catalog of episodes, we've had rock legends such as Dee Snider and Huey Lewis, punk rock favorites such as Mark Hoppus, Fat Mike, and Brett Gurewitz, up-and-coming artists of today such as Liz Stokes of the Beths and Genesis Owusu, and even some of the artists that have been featured on One Hit Thunder. The show is even produced by One Hit Thunder host Chris Fafalius. What more could you possibly ask for? Krista Makes a Podcast is available for free on all the places you listen to podcasts, and new episodes come out every Monday. I guarantee you'll like it, or we'll give you your money back.
unfortunately, after all of this, it's 3 years later, Yvonne is just stepping away from music.
Well, let's give her a little bit of credit. She had a few minor hits after that in 1979. She did the title theme from the film Moment by Moment, starring Lily Tomlin and John Travolta. I've never heard of this movie.
Never heard of this.
I mean, Lily Tomlin and John Travolta, shouldn't we have heard of it? I don't know.
I mean, keep in mind that there is a... As far as people... How do I word this? John Travolta had his huge 70s moment. Mm-hmm. And then, honestly, for about a decade and a half, he was doing straight crap until Quentin Tarantino pulled him out of obscurity for Pulp Fiction.
Are you calling Look Who's Talking crap?
I am a little bit, yeah.
Are you calling Look Who's Talking 2 crap?
Even more so, yes.
Okay.
Now, Look Who's Talking Now. Masterpiece.
There we go. After this, Yvonne Elliman, she appeared on the show Hawaii Five-0 as a singer. She had a single, Savannah, that was a minor hit. But yeah, she went on a hiatus after having a couple kids. And then she didn't release another album until 2004, an album called Simple Needs. On this little mini documentary I watched of her, she talked about how, she stepped out of the spotlight and she went back to Hawaii and she just loved the people. She was a local celebrity in Hawaii. In the little mini documentary, she goes to a karaoke bar and people are real excited to see her and she sings If I Can't Have You. And people just seem to really love her around Hawaii. I'm sure you saw that in 2017, she was going to sing for a Catholic school charity in Guam, but she was stopped by customs for possession of weed and meth. Now, let's stop here. Who cares about the weed? The meth, that part's a little stranger because she ended up spending the night in jail. She pled guilty, and she actually did the benefit concert still. She had to perform community service. Okay, so when we're recording this, she's 74 now. So in 2017, she's late 60s. It's kind of wild to be doing meth in your late 60s because, I mean, it's kind of wild to be doing meth ever. But I watched an interview with her talking about it. And she said, hey, I've had some back problems and I knew I had this performance coming up. She said, I'm not an addict, just an occasional user. And she straight up said that she thought she might need it for her performance to get some adrenaline, but turns out that she didn't need it that night. I mean, I kind of respect that she just owns it. She's like,
I do.
I thought I
just feel like
meth is little meth.
I feel like meth's up there with heroin, where there aren't really normally that many people who casually use it in a setting. Yeah. I think it's one of the more addictive ones, right?
Yeah, I feel like it's a pretty hard drug, but at the same time, she grew up in like the 60s and 70s. And
that's true. She had much harder drugs than I think we realize.
I think meth is a pretty hard drug. I will say that, but it was used it was a commonplace thing for people to use, like truck drivers. And I'm sure it was being used a lot in the clubs and stuff. To be honest, I don't know. I've never done meth. Maybe some of our listeners have and can fill us in on the difference. But I don't know what the difference between meth and coke or other uppers would be. Maybe I think you smoke meth. It was actually... fuck ice, by the way, but it was actually ice, which that's what I saw when they were talking about it. Was the form of it called ice, which I don't know if it's exactly the same as crystal meth. I don't know the nuances of the different types of forms of methamphetamines, but I think maybe this is smoked as, I don't know the difference between crack, coke, meth as far as its effects on you, I guess. But
yeah, I unfortunately am not aware one way or the other.
Unfortunately. But I will say, she seems like a cool lady. This interview that I watched with her, you can go check it out on YouTube. I like her. I think she seems pretty cool, down to earth, and even had a little laugh about her drug bust. And let's give her credit. She was doing it for a charity. So she just thought she needed a little bit of meth to be at her best that night.
Yeah. Don't we all sometimes, Chris?
Yeah. Before we talk Thunder or Blunder, Matt, you want to play a game?
Sure. Let's do it.
You know the rules. Do I even need to say them?
Nah, well, okay. I'll do the very, very quick version for, this could be someone's first episode. If I get it without multiple choice, I get 2 points. But if I take the risk before you give me multiple choice, I could lose a point.
Right.
But if I ask for multiple points or multiple choice, there's no deduction of points, but I only get 1 point if I get it correct.
That is correct. Those are the rules, Matt. You get 7 questions. Is your target 10?
Yeah, let's stick with the 10. Why not?
10 should always be your target.
Yeah, let's just stick with 10. Let's just say I'm always going for 10 when it's just me.
Okay. The Saturday Night Fever soundtrack was the best-selling album in music history before the release of what album beat it?
I wish I had a year on that because I've got like 3 or 4 album titles in my head. Let's not go into the negatives this quickly. Multiple choice.
A, Purple Rain, B, Thriller, C, Jagged Little Pill, or D, Born in the USA.
And you said this was just general album, right? Not like a soundtrack album or something like that.
Right.
My first thought was Thriller by Michael Jackson, so I'm going to say that.
You got it.
All right.
You should have went with it. Okay. This actor, known for his roles in the Santa Claus franchise, 10 Things I Hate About You, Oppenheimer, and even a small role on Freaks and Geeks, was born the week that If I Can't Have You was #1 on the charts.
I know exactly who this is. I have his face in my... I can like literally see his face and hear his voice. He plays the best friend to Finch in the Howard and Kumar movies, but I cannot for life of me remember his name, so I'm going to need multiple choice.
A, Anthony Mackie,
No.
B, Josh Hartnett, C, David Krumholtz, or D, Wes Bentley.
It's C, David Krumholtz.
That's right. You got it. 2 points for you, Matt. Okay. This one, I'm going to give you the multiple choice, and if you get it, you're going to get 2 points.
Okay.
At the time of If I Can't Have You, what was the cost of a U.S. postage stamp?
Okay.
A, 8 cents, B, 15 cents, C, 20 cents, or D, 27 cents.
I'm thinking it's either 8 or 15. I'm going to go 15B.
You got it. Good
Yeah.
job. 15 cents. Okay. You got 4 points going into question 4. Okay. You know what? This one is another one. If you could get this without the multiple choice, I'm going to give you 4 points.
Okay.
But you'll get 2 if you get it with the multiple choice, because I think this is an extra hard question.
All right.
In August of 2025, so not that far back from when we're recording this episode, a production of Jesus Christ Superstar took place at the Hollywood Bowl, starring Cynthia Erivo as Jesus, Adam Lambert as Judas, and Josh Gad as King Herod at 2 of the 3 performances. Who took Josh Gad's place at 1 of the 3 performances?
Oh, God. I have no clue. So multiple choice for sure.
A, Brian Austin Green, B, John Stamos, C, Seth Green, or D, Jack Black.
Originally, I was leaning towards Stamos, but now I think it's Jack Black. I'm going to go Jack Black.
You should have went with your first instinct.
It was
John
Stamos.
Stamos. That packed cast of Cynthia Erivo, Adam Lambert, and John Stamos.
Oh, boy.
Okay. So you still got 4 points right now.
Yeah.
Okay, this is another one where you need the multiple choice.
Okay.
And you'll get 2 points if you get it. Which one of these people was not born in Honolulu like Yvonne was? So which one of these people was not born in Honolulu?
Okay.
A. Lauren Graham, B. Bruno Mars, C. Jason Momoa, or D. Marissa Tomei?
All right. I'm going to take a shot in the dark here and go Bruno Mars.
That's incorrect.
Damn it.
Lauren Graham, Bruno Mars, and Jason Momoa were all born in Honolulu. It was Marissa Tomei. I tried to
Marissa
make that
Tomei
one.
was not on my. I would have gone with Lauren Graham otherwise. I almost thought that Bruno Mars was like a fake out one where it's like the one that feels the most obvious type situation.
Well, Jason Momoa should be the most obvious, but
Yeah.
Lauren Graham, I was surprised.
Yeah, that is kind of surprising.
But Marissa Tomei, I tried to make that one obvious. Okay. You still got 4 points.
I don't think I'm getting 10, buddy.
No, you're not. I think you can get a 2-pointer here, though. On the week that If I Can't Have You peaked on the Hot 100, Baker Street, by what Scottish artist, who was a founding member of Stealers Wheel, cracked the top 40?
All right. I think I can say his name and be fairly
I'll give you
close.
credit. I know.
Is it Jerry Rafferty?
That's correct.
All right.
All right, 6 points. And your final question. What English singer, known for her 1981 debut single, Kids in America, released a cover of If I Can't Have You in 1993?
Was that Kim Wilde?
You got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. 8 points. Man,
I was worried that was a cover. I knew that Kim Wilde did Kids in America, but then I was like second guessing myself if it was the original.
You got it, man. You did 8 points. That's pretty good. I think that was a little bit of a hard game. I think you would have beat most people playing against you right now.
I'll take that. Let us know if you beat me
Yeah.
in the comments on Facebook or whatever.
All right. Yvonne Elliman, Thunder or Blunder, Matt?
She seems like a cool lady. I want to start with that. That's usually a sign of where I'm going when I comment the quality of the person. I love this song. I think this is a great song. I was hard pressed to find much else that I really loved in her catalog. So I'm gonna go with Blunder on this one, I think.
I think I echo those same sentiments exactly. I think that she's awesome. I think this song is awesome. She didn't write it. She performs it, and I do believe her performance of it is the 50-50, the magic sauce of it.
Yeah.
That you needed to have her performing, because I listened to the Bee Gees version and it's not as good.
No, it's not. It's really, really not.
So I definitely give her credit for that. But I wanted so badly to like more of her songs, and I really didn't. And I don't even think it's so much taste. I think that our listeners, go check it out. You can go to one of her Essentials playlists or something. Just a lot of really dated sounding music that doesn't hold up in the production or the style now. Whereas this song really does. This song still hits hard in current times, but I don't know. I couldn't find anything else. I think I'm going Blunder as well.
All right.
All right.
This has been One Hit Thunder. One Hit Thunder is hosted by Chris Ophalios of the band Punchline and produced by Matt Kelly of Geekscape.net. Underneath me, you're hearing Time in a Picture off the Punchline album Action. Visit punchlinemusic.com for any upcoming news on the band. Our podcast is on Patreon now. Find us at patreon.com/OHT podcast for early access to episodes, bonus conversations, and a chance to vote on future songs for us to cover. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to us on any of your podcasting apps, and tune in next week for more One Hit Thunder.
to the Geekscape Network.